Okay, folks, here goes with my surprise vegetarian celeriac main course. Now, I have, oh, these are still wet. I have the oven preheating to 375. It's there now. I have three celeriacs that come to around 1.2 kilograms. They're small, but normally you get a nice big one like that. But lately we only get small ones here, but these are really nice ones. My friend Tara brought them from Kitchener-Waterloo. And I'm not, let's go back a bit. This is a redo of a Jamie Oliver dish known as Zombie Brain. And that's like his way of getting attention. But they do look like zombie brains, and that's why I'm not peeling these. But I did wash them in a whole sink of water twice, letting the dirt come out twice, and then filling it up again, and then scrubbing hard with a brush. Because if you've ever seen these in the store, they're covered in dirt. And I'm calling them celeriac because that's what they're called. And when you say celery root, it's confused because at some point during evolution, the celery that we eat, the green stalks, and the celeriac divided, and one became a root and one became stems. So these are not the roots of celery. Anyway, that's just a little anecdote. So instead of doing one, where you would use um, 6 cloves of garlic and 7 bay leaves. These are fresh bay leaves, and if you're in Quebec, they're known as feuilles de laurier, which means laurel leaves, and lots of stems of um, fresh thyme. So, okay, so I set the stage. We're also going to make a great deal of mushroom sauce, which is why I'm using 3. But you could use one big one, around a kilogram in size, and use all the same ingredients. But I'm using 3 because I intend to share this. So what you're going to do is you're going to double, and I have a baking tray. And the reason I have a baking tray is because there might be some leakage, and it'll, get into the bottom of your oven and smoke and burn. So I'll put that aside for now. And we're going to use the foil. We're going to double up on the foil. So I'm just going to put 2 pieces in different directions. And we're going to rub it with oil, olive oil. Get our hands kind of dirty. Like that. Rub it in. Okay, well that's going to be tricky when you're trying to get it to season with cracked pepper. Obviously, we never use dried up old pepper. And then I'm going to use my Malden sea salt for this and rub it in. Okay, now we're going to try to get some of that off our hands. Might not work. I have a cloth. We're going to add, so I have a bunch of fresh bay leaves. Now you could definitely use dried ones. And when these I have 3, so I'll put 3 on each one. When these dry out, they'll become dry and I'll use them in soups. But you definitely don't need to use dry ones. And now I'm going to smash a couple cloves of garlic without peeling. That's unnecessary. And I'll need my big knife for that. We have to get going at an early time because this takes 2 hours to roast. Okay, well that was a really large clove. So I'm just gonna put it in there. And I am peeling it a little bit, but I didn't need 2 cloves because they're huge. Okay, and then put the thyme on top, like that. Gonna add some more oil, and then we're gonna seal it. Okay, so we'll do one this way, folding up. We don't want the juices to get out. And then we're gonna do it again with the shiny side in. That's kind of a classic. I don't know if it really works, and it might be a wives' tale, but that's how it's supposed to work. Okay, so that goes in the dish. And I'll do the other two and put it in the oven at 375 for 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm gonna chop up 800 or so, this was around 700 grams of cremini mushrooms. Looks like a lot, but we have a lot of sauce to make. And we'll also be making pearl barley. And all of that will be make for a delicious main course. Forgot to mention a few things. So we have our bay leaves, feuilles de laurel, we have our garlic, we have our salt, we have our oil. Now we're going to add, I forgot to mention that the root side should be up, because that part you're probably not going to eat. So we want to roast the bottom part. I also wanted to mention, I actually totally forgot that once you put the herbs on, you need some butter. And I'm just going to use like a tablespoon butter so it melts down and gives you a good color and a good flavor, and it's unsalted butter. And then you wrap it up. So I have to go back and add the butter to my previous one. Okay, so as you can see, I have my barley cooking, my pearl barley. Love pearl barley. That's such a great mouthfeel, great texture. I have chopped a small onion into pieces. These will come apart into tiny pieces. And someday I'll show you how to do that. I have sliced up another clove and a half of garlic. And I'm using my big pan because we're making sauce. We're going to prep our sauce. The celeriac has been in the oven for about an hour. Has another 45 minutes to go probably. I'll check in half an hour. And I want to turn on this, put on, you're just going to sweat some aromatics down with olive oil. That means the onions in this case and the garlic together. And we're going to get that going. And then I have my wooden spoon, which I love for this, because you can really feel when the onions are done. I should probably have waited until it came to temperature, but it doesn't matter in this case. I'm not trying to fry anything. And then I have sliced up nearly a kilo of, well, no, it's 680 grams, so not nearly, not even 3/4. I did these ones by hand, just to show that they're by hand, but you can do it easily. And the thing is, I really got behind. I should have started all of this as soon as the celeriac went in the oven, so that it would all be ready at the same time. But because I'm not cooking for guests, I'm doing it for the video, and I'm going to eat it myself. It should be okay. So what you want to do is you want to sweat these down and get them translucent. All right, so these aren't so far gone, but they're starting to brown, so that's a little bit, you don't want that. We're going to add all of the mushrooms. So that took, I don't know, probably 6 minutes. We're going to add all of the mushrooms. That's why I have the big pan. But they are going to break down. And we're going to stir and cook them for around 20 minutes, maybe 15. Just to get them nicely reduced and browned. And there's nice big chunks, which I like, but you can break them. Because I had one of those packages that had every size in it. They tend to be on sale, so there's that. That's going to go down. This barley has another, say, 10 minutes, and then I'll take it off the heat. It gets dressed with oil and seasoning just before plating, and that's it for now. Okay, so the timing of this worked out because the barley has been cooking for half an hour. Turn that off, take it off the heat, leave it with the cover on. We'll strain it later. I just used the instructions on the bag, so that's why I didn't mention how I'm making it, because that's just going to be on the bag. And now you can see that this has also been around 20 minutes, maybe 15, and there's no liquid from the mushrooms, and you can smell it actually. Use all your senses, as I always say. You can smell it when they're starting to brown, and you don't want burnt, but brown means flavor. So what we do is we add a bay leaf, another bay leaf, like that, and we add 200 mils of boiling water, because we're making a sauce. Where's the milliliters? Okay. 200 boiling water. That's too much. I had that ready to go, and I just added more. I just turned it on again. And now I can't see the measurement. But I don't want these to get too far gone. I just want them to get infused with the flavor of the bay leaf. And I turned them down around 5 or 10 minutes ago, so I didn't overdo it. So what we need now to do is I have to remember that in 15 minutes I have to check my celeriac. If they're not done, I need to put some more butter on. I don't have to. Anyway, we're going to keep this on medium, slightly medium-high. Reduce now all that juice from now that's going to be a good flavor. So we're going to reduce that until there's no liquid left. And then we're going to add, we want to add this now. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of chicken stock. Well, it might have been a whole teaspoon. Bullion. If you're using a cube of bullion, like OXO or Knorr, you would it tends to be salty, so don't overdo it. You would use a quarter of a cube of it when you put it in the hot water. And look, it's already reduced. So let's just make sure that the chicken stock bouillon is mixed in with the water. And see, there's no juice. Turn it off. And now we're going to add a teaspoon of English mustard. In this case, I'm using Canadian mustard. English mustard and Canadian mustard are basically the same, except for English is spicy. So we're just going to add that. And we're going to take it off the heat. And we're going to, I don't know where to put that. Thanks. Stir it in, and we need to add the cream at this stage. We're stirring the mustard. It just adds a kind of lightness and spiciness to it. And I probably added too much, but I don't mind. I like the smell of that. So, yes, English mustard is spicier than yellow mustard. I don't know, 150 milliliters of cream. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so 150 millimeters, and then we want to reduce this a little bit further, just for 5 minutes. Back on the heat to make the cream sauce. We want it to thicken a little bit. Okay, and we also want to heat up that cream. And at this point is when, notice I didn't season this. So we're just gonna heat up the cream to thicken a little, and we're going to season it. I didn't season it at the beginning because when you reduce and reduce and reduce, something like salt gets very pronounced. So in this case, we do it at the end. That's pepper. And I'm just gonna bring it to a simmer for a few minutes. And I'm gonna add my kosher salt. Just a little. There, it's coming to a simmer. And then we're going to check our, get your gloves out. And we're gonna check our celeriac because I haven't done, but it's only been an hour and 15 minutes, I think. Okay, look, wait. Things go quickly. There, it's nice and thick. It'll thicken when it cools. You want it nice and warm for serving. And of course, I'll taste it with a teaspoon to see if you got the salt and the pepper right. I think I did. And we're just gonna check this. There's no leakage here. And you don't even have to open them. Just get a fork and go in. Well, actually it's 2 layers. My bad. Okay, that's gotta go off. You don't want to make custard. Take that off the heat. That's good and thick and hot. And to keep it warm, put the lid on. Oh, that lid doesn't. Why does that lid not fit? I have the wrong lid. Oh well, it'll work. So everything's smelling amazing. When I open these, I feel like I'm opening a delicious aromatic treasure. Let's just put our fork in. You know what? They feel really good, but not quite. I'm gonna leave them another 15. And I'm not gonna add more butter because I can hear it sizzling at the bottom. But you could actually unroll the tops for this last 15 minutes. The tops being the bottom in this case, the root. But that'll roast it up a bit. Oh, you know what? It might dry it out. Forget it. Just leave them a little bit open to steam out. Put it back in. Maybe my job of wrapping, I did such a good job that I can't open them now. I'm gonna put them back in for 15. There's a little resistance, kind of a good mouth bite resistance, but it'll be a little bit better if I, judging from experience. So if that were true, that's 15 plus an hour and 15. It would only be 1 hour and a half for the small ones total. So we have this is, okay, take it off the heat. And then when this is all done, that will cool down and we'll get to the barley part. Okay, folks, I think we're really getting there. I want to take the celeriac out, reminding myself, I don't know what that is, to be careful because the dish is hot. And we can just, at this stage, dump them out and let them cool a bit. And let all the juices go. See how they're sizzling with the garlic? And look at that. Okay, pretty. So we're just gonna do that. This isn't gonna take very long to get it all going for plating for your guests, your vegetarian guests. Ow! Okay, that. But I just want to show you how beautiful, I don't know, can you see? Oh, I'll do this one, but I think I have overly wrapped these. No, I haven't. They're just right. Anyway, so you let the juice come out. It's basically just oil and butter that's been infused with the herbs. And I'm just going to show you that. Now, you could actually just serve it like that. But then you would want to carve it at the table. And I think they would look pretty like that, but we'll see. You can see that the oil is still bubbling. It's very hot, and I think partially it's because this part of the stovetop is hot. So now what we're gonna do is, I don't mind if it's a little warm for the sauce, as long as it doesn't curdle. So now we're going to drain the barley per the instructions. You can't see it because I'm doing this right behind you. Anyway, I made quite a lot. I made a lot of barley. I really only intended to make 300 grams and it's still draining. Hold on. But I didn't weigh it. You know, it's not baking. I didn't weigh it. I just eyeballed it. And it's just whack, whack, whack. Thing is, you don't want it to be all lumpy. And we might not use it all. But this is a good time to dress it with oil. A little bit of oil, some salt and pepper, and stir it up. It's basically going to be your starch for the meal. Celeriac doesn't have a lot of starch in it, although it is a root vegetable. Compared to a potato, it's definitely a low starch alternative. Also, it has a lot of amazing flavor. So we're going to just dress and mix up the barley. Looks pretty good. I don't know, it's a little mushy. I lost control of the timings a little bit because I only have one timer and I was timing 3 different things. But I think that'll be fine. And I'm not going to use it all because I'm getting out the plating platter. I've got a platter here. I'm going to use a slotted spoon. And we're going to pretend it's a dinner party for, you know, I don't know, 4 or 5 people. And we're just going to lay the dressed pearl barley on the bottom, like that. Let's get all that rest to all be, you know, it's something I would eat microwaved with other veggies on top or even chicken or so. So I'll get that out of the way so you can see it. We have the mushroom sauce. I need to put it somewhere safe where I won't tip it over. So now I'm gonna get my meat carving knife. Treat it like a steak. So I kind of hate when people make food that is supposed to look like other food. This doesn't look like other food. It's just what it is. I'm going to take the root off. I'm not going to serve that. Although if it were Halloween, maybe you would want zombie brains and you would just put them like that right on the plate. But I think that might scare your friends. So let's just carve it up, starting with what was the top. Oh, it cut so smoothly. And it smells so good. And look at it steaming. Oh my God. So I'm doing quarters here. I'm going to overlap them. We could cut them in half, but I don't really want to. Okay, so 1/4 inch slices is what I meant. I'm not cutting them into quarters. And if some of the green gets in there, that's okay too. It's kind of pretty. Just don't eat it because, you know, like, you don't eat bay leaves. We're told at a young age, try not to eat the bay leaf. And let's try this one. It looks pretty. Cut off the root. There's meat in that root, but there's also lots of gnarly bits. Let's put a piece of that on. And we're going to slice this also. Similar wise. I don't know. Sometimes I just use bad grammar on purpose. Hope you don't mind. Similar wise. Got that in there. I feel like this needs more. Sorry, I'm double tasking here. Cut the last piece of celery steak out. Put it right to the edge, and then that's all decorating. You can do what you want. I just think it would be nice to add some of the green, and obviously I made too much, but that's okay. That'll be dinner for me for several nights. And then we're going to get out our, and you know what, normally what you would do, oh, don't do that, don't touch it. There's not a lot of juice in there, so if you had juice, you would pour it over now, but I have sauce, and it's really good. So just a moment here. Let's then ladle the mushroom sauce. Don't forget to get the creamy parts, and that should drip all the way down to it will drip down to the barley. And I think now's the time to do a little, be happy with what you do and decorate. This is thyme, fresh thyme. Even if you do it for yourself, I find it nice to have your food look, take some pride in what you're doing. Anyway, so that's looking pretty good. Vegetarian celeriac steaks with mushroom sauce and pearl barley. Yum.